Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Bitcoin and cryptocurrency update. It's been over a day since we saw the big drop downwards to the $53,000 region on Bitcoin and the big drop downwards on the total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, actually below its ascending support line in blue, which was quite an important support line that stemmed from November. And we have to do kind of a damage report here because the price has actually seen quite a rebound from the 53K region. We haven't gotten back above the critical levels we need to get back above, but we are going to discuss what those critical levels are. Like, what do we need to get back above in order to get back on track? Is there any chance we can salvage the trends that were, broken from a couple of days ago? Yeah, well, there actually is, believe it or not, because the trends aren't broken yet in a confirmed sense. And what I mean by that is that all of these trends, such as bull market support band, such as price cycle ones, the trends I've been looking at for a long time in this channel, they're all weekly chart indicators, and the 61K level is actually a monthly chart level, stems from the highest monthly candle close in the 2021 bull market. So these levels, although we're below them, hovering below them, we've got, in my opinion, quite a small chance of getting back above them. They're not technically completely gone yet. Like, if we did see a rapid surge upwards here and get back above 61K in time for the weekly candle close, we could see a salvage of some of these macro trends. But regardless of those macro trends, even if those macro trends have broken, right, which I think I've discussed, to the point of a brain implosion over the last few days, even if those macro trends are broken, I still don't think we're in a bear market, right? I want to make something very clear. The macroeconomic environment right now is undeniably bullish. And the reason why this price action has been so strange is because it has directly countered the macroeconomic environment. That's the reason. And the other topic I'm going to be discussing today is, even if these macro trends actually do break fully, we do have a chance here on Bitcoin to reconnect to the fabric of all cryptocurrency price action, which is the 4-year cycle. And that would actually be probably my ideal scenario. I actually want that to happen. And of course, I think everyone should want that to happen. The 4-year cycle has offered us so much clarity and guidance in all cycles prior to this one. In this one, it's been a bit sketch. But if we do remain down here and we do consolidate for a period of time, we can re-link up with that. And we can, again, remain in a macro bullish setting with actually a more clear direction on Bitcoin. So we'll discuss all those possibilities today. But before we get into any of that, let's go ahead and check out the VIP group on Telegram. Guys, we have a VIP sale. All right, it's got literally 24 hours remaining. This is your last chance. If you want to take advantage of that VIP sale, get in the VIP group. Guys, we had 6 profitable trades during the period of time yesterday or the day before where the market dropped massively. 6 profitable trades dropping while everyone was losing tons of money on spot. 24 hours left, 4 trading plans a week, group chat access to all the pending trades. Now's your chance to do it. And finally, we have the Telegram, the exchange groups, I should say, or the exchanges. We've got a $5,500 US bonus available on Bitunix for signing up with my referral link, and a 4,000 USDT bonus for my referral link on BingX. There's a chance to win that amount of money, but what you do get guaranteed is a 15% trading fee discount with my referral link on both exchanges, lasting your entire lifetime. So even if you don't get the bonuses, you'll get a 15% trading fee discount, saving thousands in fees over the long term. Both are global non-KYC. You can sign up from anywhere in the world. Takes like 30 seconds. And both have never been hacked before. They're both already very low in trading fees. Again, my links are below. Check them out for the bonuses and discounts. And you're also helping out the channel quite a lot. So I really appreciate if you do that. Let's get into the content. Okay, so let's get into it, right? The reason why this drop for the last month, really, since the start of June, has been so strange is because it's been a deviation on a level that goes past the cryptocurrency market. It's been a deviation to the macroeconomic data. It's been a deviation to every single other market other than the crypto market. And there's been unique factors that have actually dragged Bitcoin down here, right? So we look at, again, S&P 500. It's just a very simple way to look at it. S&P 500 deviating from Bitcoin massively over the course of the last month. Again, since when Bitcoin was at 72K or 71K, that's when the deviation began. And it's been, it's not unusual to see uncorrelated price action between the S&P and Bitcoin. What is unusual is to see reverse correlated price action between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. Like, usually we don't even really see uncorrelated price action for more than a couple of months or a couple of weeks. And now we're actually seeing reverse correlation, a very potent, direct reverse correlation for the last entire month. We'll go to the daily chart and just zoom in and show you. Again, for the last entire month, S&P 500 skyrocketing, really, upwards from over here upwards like 10%, a large amount, right? And Bitcoin down 20, 25%, whatever it's down, a large amount, with the total 3 down 30, percent. Altcoins, many altcoins down 50 or 60 or even 70%, right? So the cryptocurrency market in the last month has just taken a massive left turn, while the S&P's taken a massive right turn along with the macroeconomic data, which was meant to be leading Bitcoin. And this is the reason, really, I mean, this is the fundamental basis of why the price action has been so incredibly strange, because of this deviation. With that being said, I don't think this deviation will last forever. This deviation has been caused by probably a multitude of things. The German government selling, the ETF overvaluation and coming back down to a baseline potentially. Another factor will be Mt. Gox. Another factor will be, no doubt, manipulation. There's been probably many, and probably way more than that I can't even name, or maybe we don't even have access to, of why this deviation has occurred. But regardless of why the deviation has occurred, I don't think it's reason to be massively bearish on Bitcoin on a long-term basis, because the long-term basis is that Bitcoin, the long-term trend is that Bitcoin follows S&P based on the macroeconomic data, and the macroeconomic data is still bullish. So it's just a matter of when will Bitcoin reconnect with the broader markets. That's my question. So I never have thought, ever, and I've never suggested on this YouTube channel, and I don't suggest it now, that Bitcoin is going to be entering a bear market here. What I have suggested is that Bitcoin has broken below very major levels that it typically has not broken below at this time in a market cycle. That's what I've suggested. And the same thing for Total 3. So we look at the Total 3 cryptocurrency market cap chart, and we see the Total 3 has, a 5-step pattern, really, and a 5-step pattern showing that step 4 is the final step before a parabolic bull market with an altcoin season. And step 4 has many invalidation factors. For example, an ascending blue support line. For example, a horizontal line on step 3's high. For example, a couple more things. RSI ascending support line stemming backwards from the middle of step 2 between step 3. All of these things. Another thing is bull market support band. There's so many factors of identification of when you can identify when the 5-step pattern has been invalidated. And we actually saw a lot of them trigger. So although we are holding on the Total 3 above the ascending green support line, if we go to linear, we see we've actually broken below the ascending blue line, and we've broken below things like the bull market support band by a massive amount. I mean, since we've dropped below bull market support band, we've gone downwards 17 or 18% or 19% even. Pi cycle lines. The fact of the matter is, a lot of these invalidations that do suggest, and we've actually broken below macro lows as well. The macro low we formed there. A lot of these lines which do suggest the where we're meant to be bottoming on this trend have broken. And so this is what I'm talking about in my videos before yesterday, about how crucial it is that we bottomed where we were, because we needed to hold those trends, hold those lines, so that the macro trend could remain unhalted and unhindered, and we can continue into a parabolic bull market with altcoin season. Now, the unfortunate reality is we have done pretty significant damage to those macro trends, right? We've met 3 out of the 5 invalidation zones for the Total 3's macro trend. There's no real saying whether we're going to recover from that. We don't really know. What I can say is that if we do, and this is where we get into the chance for recovery, if we do close the weekly candle above that blue ascending support line, there is a chance that we could label this a fake out, but it would be guessing. It would be a guessing game. What we really need to be seeing is Bitcoin doing well. I think the Total 3 is reliant on Bitcoin. Altcoins are reliant on Bitcoin at this time in the market cycle. Even historically, if we're looking at this macro trend, step 4 is what occurs before the altcoin season. So step 4, which we're in now, either in now or broken below, is still happening or occurring in a Bitcoin-dominated market environment, meaning that Bitcoin is leading the market. So what am I looking at right now? I'm looking at Bitcoin mainly. And when I look at Bitcoin, what I see is that we've broken below a very major macro support zone at 61K. And that is a monthly chart level, but there's also many dynamic levels within that price region, such as, again, bull market support band and various other things. And I see a chance for Bitcoin here. We've got a weekly candle close in 1 day and 13 hours, and we really need to get back above the 61K level in the next 1 day or 13 hours. Now, does that seem likely? It seems like a stretch. I'll be completely honest with you. It seems like a stretch. 61K is still quite far away from where we are. It's still 10% move. But if Bitcoin does manage to get back above 61K in 1 day and 13 hours, then we can label this a fake out. And that's that. But I mean, look, if we're looking at the more reasonable scenario, is that we don't get that weekly candle close, okay? The more reasonable scenarios, we hover around here, we don't get that weekly candle close above 61K, and we just kind of continue doing what we're doing until eventually we reconnect to the macroeconomic data, and we establish new trends, or potentially even go back and lurk around for a while and actually reconnect with the 4-year cycle. So this is something I talked about briefly yesterday as well, but I think will be interesting to monitor. Now, the 4-year cycle is the strongest ever trend that Bitcoin has. It's actually the very fabric of the entirety of Bitcoin's macro price action, stemming back from the first halving in 2012. And we were following the 4-year cycle to the absolute T until the ETF release. At the ETF release, we moved upwards too fast, too quickly. We broke all-time highs before the halving, something we've never done before. We were moving about 250 days ahead of schedule. Now, luckily, or potentially something that's promising, is that, with the recent price action in the last 3 months, we have kind of, taken a massive break from moving upwards, right? We've gone sideways and even downwards now for over 100 days, 130, 140 days, okay? So we're taking a break here, a breath of fresh air after the massive move to the upside triggered by the ETF narrative and the ETF reality. And there is a chance here that we kind of get back on track of 4-year cycle, because again, we were moving way too fast, and we were starting to discuss really a left translated cycle. We were starting to discuss, because of the macro trends I discussed earlier in this video, such as the 5-step pattern on the total 3, and such as the macro support zone on Bitcoin that I saw as needing to hold, because it had never really broken before in any other market environment. Now that we've broken those levels, we can look to the more foundational trends that we could be reconnecting to, such as the 4-year cycle, which doesn't necessarily rely on those macro levels that we've just broken over the last couple of days. I hope that makes sense. But what we need to do to get back on top of to get back into the 4-year cycle is we need to actually take a break. We need to actually go sideways more. We need to lurk more. We can't continue just steamrolling to the upside like we did pre-ETFs. If we're looking at 4-year cycle from a traditional perspective, in 4-year cycle, we have basically a 1,100 day range between the all-time high and breaking above that all-time high again, 1,100 days, okay, give or take 50 days. Okay, it happened in the first cycle, happened in the second cycle over here, again, 1,100 days, give or take 50 days. If we are going to see that again, and we measure from a 2021 high, and we assume that this was a deviation, which would be the assumption we would make in this scenario, 1,100 days from that deviation would take us to around December, November, October, maybe even late September, somewhere in Q4 basically this year. So what I'm looking at for Bitcoin to potentially reconnect to the 4-year cycle would be Bitcoin to kind of not really do much or not break the macro highs, not break 73K until around at least September this year. So if we can see consolidation below 74K for 2 months, I'd be very happy, because that would, in my view, would be evidence that we're potentially reconnecting to the 4-year cycle and reconnecting to much more supported and much more established macro trends like the 4-year cycle, rather than the ones we were relying on for the last couple of months, which did eventually lead us into the possibility of a left translated cycle, right, which have now broken. Now, again, there's 2 scenarios here, right? It was actually 3 scenarios. The one of the scenarios, the third scenario, is we just go downwards and everything's wrecked, okay? The other scenario is Bitcoin manages to close the weekly candle above the levels required, above 61K, and everything gets salvaged, and this gets labeled as a deviation, and we still think there's going to be a left translated cycle. And the third scenario is Bitcoin fails to close the weekly candle above 61K, Bitcoin lurks around for a couple months, and Bitcoin breaches 74K at the earliest in September, in which case there will be a growing pool of evidence to suggest we're back on track with the 4-year cycle. So there's a lot of different scenarios here. In my opinion, I don't see this kind of bear case that a lot of people are seeing right now. I don't see this even if we saw a bear market here, it wouldn't be a traditional bear market, because I may have mentioned it at the start of the video. I don't remember if I did actually. A traditional bear market is not valid unless we see it from the traditional spot. And the traditional spot that we see a bear market from only occurs at the end of the 4-year cycle. We're not there yet. So if we see a bear market here, it won't be a traditional one. It could just last a couple months, right? We don't know what it will look like. It could take us down into only 30% instead of a usual 80%. So we just don't know what a bear market will look like here. For that reason, I can certainly say that we won't be seeing a traditional bear market. And I can say also to a pretty high degree of confidence that I don't think we'll see extended bearish price action, really. Because again, I believe we will eventually reattach to the macroeconomic data, which is driving the broader markets up. And I believe crypto will stop seeing these isolated narratives that is dragging crypto down while letting the rest of the markets rise. Eventually, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will come back into contact with the traditional narratives that lead it to the upside, just like it's doing with the S&P right now. So, I mean, there's a couple of things that could happen here. I don't see the 4-year cycle as completely off the table. I've never seen it as completely off the table. I did see it as a narrative that wasn't important for a long period of time because if we were going to maintain the macro trends that are potentially breaking now or broke a couple of days ago, we wouldn't really need the 4-year cycle would actually do more damage than good for us following it, right? Because we would be more likely to have a left translated cycle if we were to maintain all those macro levels and continue at an upwards pace at that trajectory. It just wouldn't make sense to continue until October next year. But now that we've come down below them, again, the 4-year cycle is very much back on the table in a very real fashion here. So we'll have to kind of see. I can't really say anything too decisive about it yet, but what I can say is that I'm watching the 4-year cycle very closely. And actually, as a matter of fact, if we do reconnect to the 4-year cycle here, I will see that as an excellent thing. Because again, we want the maximum amount of macro predictability. And macro predictability stems fundamentally on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency from the 4-year cycle, right? I think ever since ETFs came into this market, the market has been slightly corrupted, right? We were forced into a situation where we had to trust dynamic indicators rather than the fabric of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency's price action itself, which is the 4-year cycle. And now that those dynamic indicators have broken or are breaking, depending on what happens with the weekly candle close, we do have the opportunity to reconnect with, again, the fabric of Bitcoin's price action. So it will be very interesting to see what happens here. When will I be buying back? If because obviously I've sold my altcoins, I've cut my wins on altcoins, and in some cases I've cut my losses, but in a lot of cases I've actually cut my wins because we bought altcoins back in November, December, October. But obviously recent ones we bought, they're mostly losses. I haven't sold my Bitcoin. Ethereum, I haven't sold too much of it, but again, I didn't really have too much Ethereum, to be honest with you. I was mostly about 55% in Bitcoin, a little bit in Ethereum, and the rest was in altcoins. All my altcoins are cut. I don't believe it is safe to hold altcoins here. Even though I'm not macro bearish, I still don't think it's safe to hold altcoins. I think there is a massive degree of uncertainty in the altcoin market at this point. Again, if we manage to recover the weekly candle close, perhaps I'll buy back the total 3. If we don't manage to recover the weekly candle close, I will only be buying altcoins again once I'm confident that Bitcoin is actually in a decent position. For example, once I'm confident that Bitcoin reconnects to the 4-year cycle, I'll consider buying altcoins again. As of right now, I'm not interested in altcoins. I'm really just patiently waiting, observing what's going on with Bitcoin, because I believe that Bitcoin is still the leader of the markets. We are in a Bitcoin season still, and Bitcoin will ultimately determine what happens to the rest of the market now. So I hope you guys found that video useful and insightful. It was pretty in-depth and pretty nuanced at times, and you might be confused about a few things, and hopefully I can shed some light on the things you are confused from in the next couple of days. Leave a comment if you didn't understand anything, and I'll definitely try to address the popular comments in tomorrow's video. I'm trying not to respond to too many comments in the comment section because there's quite frankly just too many of them. So apologies if I don't get to your questions in the comment section, but leave a comment, and if I see it as useful information or something that I need to answer, I will address it in following videos. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Again, like we mentioned at the start of the video, the VIP sale on Telegram has just a mere 24 hours remaining. You literally have 1 day left to get and take advantage of that VIP sale. We do four or more, but usually 4 trading plans posted per week with an excellent win rate, 78% win rate. A group chat is available 24/7 to discuss the market. It's been very useful in these times of high volatility for guidance from other members. We've got a PDF of all the historical trading results. We did very, very well while the market dropped. 6 very strong trades there. Again, discounted price for a limited time, just 24 hours less to take advantage of that group chat sale. We don't have them very often, so now's your time to do it. And again, the Bitfinex and BingX exchanges, Bitfinex offering you $5,500 US as a reward for signing up, and then BingX offering you $4,000. Now, those aren't guaranteed rewards, but you do have a chance of winning them or winning up to those amounts. So again, $5,500 USDT on Bitfinex, $4,000 on BingX. Signing up takes literally 30 seconds with my referral link down below, and you can get access to those rewards potentially. But if you don't get the rewards, fear not, you will get access to a 15% trading fee discount for life on either of those exchanges. And those are good exchanges to make your primary exchanges. Both very low in trading fees, both never been hacked before, and both are global non-KYC. So use my links below for that bonus and also the 15% trading fee discount. You're helping the channel as well, guys, so I really appreciate that. And then finally, the Become a Trader 10-unit course is on sale right now for a limited time. If you want to learn how to trade, you want to teach yourself TA in this course kind of university-style format. It's self-led, it's offline accessible, 40 hours, 30 to 30 hours of content probably for a very reasonable price developed by myself and Mega Crypto. You can do it there. Guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you tomorrow.